Stress eczema is on the rise, and now you can see why. That's the reason for the stress eczema epidemic. Stress eczema. What is it and why is it on the rise? I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. I've helped loads of people, and stress-based eczema is really increasing at the moment. So I want to run through the root causes, why stress has such a huge amount to answer for when it comes to these chronic and autoimmune conditions, and what we can do about it. So stress eczema, remember eczema means allergic skin inflammation. Remember, that's all it means. Atopic dermatitis means allergic type skin inflammation. Now we know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with components of the immune system that are responsible for the development of allergies and the production of inflammation that manifests itself on the skin. We know this to be Th2 type inflammation. Don't worry about the numbers. This just means they're the T cells that are being produced as part of this inflammatory process. This degrades filaggrin, which stops the production of natural moisturizing factor and breaks down your skin barrier because it can't make a healthy skin barrier. So what does stress have to do with this? Well, let's look at what stress actually does to the body first of all. So the autonomic nervous system splits into 2 parts. We have rest and digest and fight and flight. There are a few more to these, which is quite interesting, that I've been looking at recently. Fight and flight, freeze, fawn. They're modes of the nervous system that it can go into depending on what it's been presented with. So fight and flight and rest and digest. Which mode do you think we need to be in order to have a nice, healthy, functioning body? That's correct, the rest and digest function. So what causes the switching of these? Well, it's really down to our perception. And so firstly, we'll talk about autonomic nervous system, the modes, and perception. And what do I mean by perception? It's your worldview. It's your way of interpreting the information that's coming in. Okay, so if we draw an eyeball, this is a very well drawn eyeball, and it's connected to your brain, and this is going to be a really well drawn brain, it's connected, okay? And something happens in the outside world, normally involving people, interestingly enough, and we see that, and that information goes to our brain. Now, depending on what's in your brain, your perception of what's happening will determine whether you move into a rest and digest, or you stay in rest and digest, or whether you move into fight and flight. Let's say you are walking along a lovely mountain path. These are mountains. And you walk along, there you are. What a nice rucksack you've got. That's a new one, that's nice. And you're walking along, and all of a sudden, out the trees, shoots what you think is a bear, okay? Before you can even confirm it, you turn around and you run off, okay? Your body moves into fight and flight because you perceived a bear. However, after about 10-15 meters of running, you hear barking, and you turn around, and it was just a dog. So based on what we perceived the reality to be, changes which mode our autonomic nervous system switches into. Now, why is this important? Why are we talking about dogs and bears and stuff like that? Well, if we're at work and we think people are talking about us, or we think somebody thinks something about us or has said something, then we're going to move into fight and flight mode. But if they didn't actually say that and we can't prove it, then we should control